That is such a cool sight. Just seeing the Tahr moving, just to see them working their way down the mountain like that. Hello, welcome to my channel and welcome back to the Hunter Call of the Wild. Today is an exciting day. Thank you to Expansive Worlds and the Hunter Network. I have been granted early access to the brand new update and DLC, the Rapid Hunt Rifle Pack, coming out on Tuesday, March 25th. In the update that's coming out, we are getting, I think the biggest thing of this update is here on Tiawaroa, which I am currently traversing the mountains of, we are getting Himalayan Tahr, which that is also a brand new name for the Tahr. They are just Tahr currently. They are getting renamed to the Himalayan Tahr, but they are also being brought to Tiawaroa, which also means that the chamois are getting a reset, probably just so they could put the Tahr in and fit them in alongside the chamois here in Tiawaroa. And I'm very excited to see all the Tahr and chamois trophies flooding in. This is something that we've wanted for such a long time. I remember when Tiawaroa released, everyone was very upset that we didn't get Tahr, and since we got Sunder Patent last year, everyone has been asking for Tahr here on Tiawaroa, and it's finally happening, and I cannot wait to see how they work here on the map. Another big thing in this update is the challenges. We are getting community challenges. Last year they implemented new daily and weekly challenges, and with this update we're getting community challenges. These will run longer than the weekly challenge, and it will require the whole community to rally together to attain a singular goal. These will be platform specific. Each platform will have their own goal, and these goals can help us unlock cool things like possibly weapon skins. I believe they did this a long time ago with the 270. There are some veteran players that have a specific 270 skin that they unlocked through a community type challenge or something. So it's really exciting, especially as someone who streams and for us content creators to be able to have something for our whole community to work towards and probably get some cool stuff out of it. So that is another big thing coming to this update. Okay, let's go over the bug fixes that are coming with this update. A Himalayan Tahr has been spotted on Tiawaroa. This migration may impact the local chamois population. Chamois population on Tiawaroa has been reset. A number of weapons had their scope attachment points reviewed and redone. This also means that many weapons had their accuracy refined. Bug fixes. Achievements. Made it possible to get the achievement for completing the Quattro Colinas mission if it didn't previously unlocked correctly. Animals. Fixed an issue where snow leopards would sometimes get stuck vaulting. An issue where waterfowl would get stuck in the air on multiplayer has been fixed. Floating rabbit burrows and Hirschfelden should no longer float. Ground birds should no longer appear to bounce up after being hit in the air. I missed that one. Turkeys can now start flying again after being flushed. Geese weren't honking enough. Now they're having a honking good time. As someone who spent a lot of time on Yukon, I think the geese were fine. Blood clues for waterfowl will now drop in the right locations. Waterfowl will more consistently die when hit with birdshot. Northern red muntjac antlers now generate as they were meant to. Interesting. I didn't know they were not generating properly. Dogs. Resolved a bug which caused dogs to get stuck running in circles trying to find a path. Fixed an issue where dogs would appear to stop following you under certain conditions. Trained the dogs to react properly to gunshots. Fixed an issue where dogs weren't able to focus on the task at hand once you enter or left a hunting structure. Solved issues with dogs getting stuck trying to retrieve harvests. Trained dogs to stop sneaking when birds are alerted. Made sure dogs wouldn't stop trying to flush a bird even if it got far away. Resolved a crash that would sometimes occur when dogs would investigate clues. Fixed a crash that would occur when opening the dog wheel while the dog hadn't spawned yet. Fixed a crash triggered by the dog pointing to an animal that had despawned. Any of those crashes after like a great one was down would be miserable. When putting a dog in your kennel, the dog UI will no longer incorrectly appear. We fixed an issue with the pointer dog's tongue during interactions. The spot point command will no longer become unavailable after rapidly selecting it multiple times. When you look at someone interacting with their dog in multiplayer, their arms will now look normal and not creepy and dislocated. If you have the Pointer Dog DLC, you will now be able to unlock dog treats properly. Equipment. Deploying the Gadwall hen decoy will now correctly show the hen model rather than the Drake. Slightly reduce the recoil of the 243 rifle. Interesting. Fixed an issue for a few weapons where the player's hand would move unnaturally while jumping. The Gopi 10 gauge shotgun's reload sound will now play properly. If you purchase Salsvisen, you will unlock the raccoon collar as originally intended. The Odin scope on the Force Elite 300 has been adjusted. The tripods will make noise when rotating. Missions. Fix an issue that caused some players to be stuck on the Emerald Coast Report All Sightings mission. Multiplayer. When joining a multiplayer game, you should spawn at the nearest unlocked outpost, not at other players' placed tents. When the host leaves a multiplayer game, you will no longer be waiting a lifetime on a never-ending loading screen. When you change modes on the clay shooting range in multiplayer, the change will update immediately. Solved an issue where if you joined a game on Salsvisen, you wouldn't see the correct shooting range mode if it had been changed before you joined. Schrodinger's door has been fixed. Doors can no longer be open on one person's screen and closed for another in multiplayer. Fixed an issue where Apex Connect game invites would fail if your friend was already in reserve. You should disconnect less often in multiplayer when your connection to the host gets interrupted. Fixed an issue where players with restricted Xbox accounts were unable to join multiplayer games even after being given access by a parent account. System. This is for you, console players. PlayStation players should no longer receive an error message after purchasing a DLC from the downloadable content menu. Fix an issue on Xbox and PlayStation where your equipped item would be removed when resuming a paused game. You should experience less memory issues if you're playing on an older console. Setting graphics options to default should work properly now. Resolved a crash that could rarely occur when transitioning between trophy lodges. Switching to a different instance of the same lodge should load smoother now. Trophies. Fix an issue with trophies that were part of multi-mounts where trophy information wasn't showing up correctly in investigate mode. UI. Resolved an Xbox issue where the game could freeze during gameplay if you closed the game before from the EULA screen. The tutorial for the pointer dog should display correctly on PlayStation. Added audio for when you select in-game challenges. World. Resolved several issues with pathing on Silver Ridge Peaks. Made certain ghost rocks and logs on Salsvisen solid, fixed a few spots on Salsvisen near the main lodge where the background music would suddenly stop, paved over a weird line on one of the Salsvisen bridges, repaved a road on Salsvisen which previously led you outside of the park boundaries, fixed some issues with vegetation placement near the lighthouse on Salsvisen, removed some lights that appeared where they shouldn't have on Salsvisen, made the walls, stairs, and upper floor solid inside of Ramthali Outpost on Sunder Patton so you can properly rest and access your cache. Fix some issues with grass clipping on Salsvisen, properly aligned a point of interest for a cache on Salsvisen, adjusted dog sitting positions for various locations on Salsvisen, fix an issue where rain would go through the roofs of certain covered bridges on Salsvisen. And that concludes the bug fixes. I'm up here. Oh, there's a Tahr. There's our first Tahr sighting. I'm up here on the mountains of Tiawaroa, and we have Tahr. We have Tahr. I've already spooked Tahr. Now, I won't lie, I haven't really hunted chamois since they lost their drink zone, so I haven't been up here even to look for a chamois. Oh, here's a chamois zone. Sick. Like I said, the chamois got a population reset, so maybe we'll find a trophy chamois along with a trophy Tahr, but I am stoked to see how the Tahr and the chamois interact, how their zones are laid out, their feed and rest zones, but also just to finally see Tahr here on Tiabaroa is going to be super exciting. We will be going over the Rapid Hunt Rifle DLC in its own separate video so we can get to the nitty-gritty. Thanks for watching this video about the update and the bug fixes. We will be also going live tonight with this update and the DLC on Monday, March 24th, 10 p.m. EST. So I hope to see you there. Thanks again to Expansive Worlds and the Hunter Network for this early access look at the update and the rifle pack.